Hello, and welcome to YNWNA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Jamie Carragher's immediate Liverpool transfer demand, Arne Slot has hours to answer to. Liverpool will know anything can happen on deadline day after Luis Suárez drama. Next Liverpool signing identified after bombshell £60 million Jeremy Jacquet transfer deal. Let's dive in, Reds. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in the transfer window. Our first news is this.
Jamie Carragher's immediate Liverpool transfer demand. Arne Slot has hours to answer to. Jamie Carragher has urged Arne Slot to address Liverpool's issues in the heart of their defense as the January transfer window comes to a close. The Reds have agreed a verbal agreement on a £55 million deal for Rennes' Jeremy Jacquet ahead of Monday's 7 p.m. deadline. However, it is understood that the center half will not make his way to Anfield until the summer, in a worrying turn of events for Liverpool fans. Slot's squad is looking increasingly light across the back line, with Joe Gomez serving as the club's only real backup to Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate. While the Reds secured Giovanni Leone from Parma over the summer, the 19-year-old is out for the rest of the season as a result of an ACL injury sustained on his debut in September. Meanwhile, Liverpool's deadline day approach for Mark Guéhi the same month collapsed at the 11th hour, with the former Crystal Palace skipper joining Manchester City this month as the club were touted to reignite their interest. And while Carragher has welcomed their would-be signing of Jacquet, he has urged Slot to scour the market for instant support with regards to their defense. Speaking on YNWA, the club legend said, "Pleased that they've made a signing in that area. Liverpool need reinforcements in that area right now, but they definitely need it in the summer. It looks as though Konate is going to move on. He's still not signed a contract yet. I think they're getting in young center backs for the future. Unfortunately, Leone, who they signed last summer, has got an ACL injury, so we won't see him as well. I would still like to see Liverpool sign another defender today, because I think they will need one before the end of the season." Asked whether the delayed move is frustrating given Liverpool's current injury issues, Carragher replied, "Yes, but when the deal has been done with Rennes, that may have been part of the deal over the line. It's not going to disrupt their season in France now, so I can understand it, as he is their player, so they have to play by their rules. Liverpool have paid top money. The future bodes well at center back, but they have pressing problems right now they need to fix. It comes as Liverpool have seemingly pipped Chelsea to the post for Jacquet, considering the Blues have been linked with the 20-year-old for the majority of the window. As a result, Liam Rosenier has recalled Mamadou Sarr from his loan with Strasbourg and are set to retain Josh Achimpong. And Julian Lawrence believes Liverpool have snapped up the real deal with their agreement for Jacquet. He said, "I know he's only 20. He hasn't played for France and he hasn't played in the Champions League or Europa League. He has a long way to go, but he's been impressive last season after Rennes called him back from his loan in the second division, and this season with Habib Bey. You can't get it wrong. He's going to be amazing. He reminds me of when William Saliba burst onto the scene in France with Saint-Étienne or Wesley Fofana. It's about how much you value that potential and talent. You would pay a lot of money for someone who hasn't really proved much. It's a lot of money for such a young player." Should Liverpool heed Carragher's advice in signing another center half for the second half of the season, they have until just 7 p.m. on Monday night to do so. Second news. Liverpool will know anything can happen on deadline day after Luis Suárez drama. Liverpool's swoop for Jeremy Jacquet seemingly came out of nowhere, and it is a development that shows that anything can happen in the transfer window. The Reds have committed $82 million to the deal to bring Jacquet to Anfield during the upcoming summer transfer window, and he will be a much-needed addition in an area of the pitch that is facing some uncertainty.
However, considering that Jacquet will not move to Liverpool until the end of the season, many observers are wondering whether there could be another signing that could have a more immediate impact on the team. There hasn't been much in the way of heavy speculation surrounding any particular player, but Liverpool fans know from experience that big signings can come out of nowhere. The Jacquet deal is of course the most recent example, but the most dramatic example remains the saga involving Fernando Torres on January deadline day in 2011. Torres secured a move to Chelsea on deadline day, and Liverpool immediately used the funds to sign Andy Carroll and Luis Suárez in one of the most dramatic transfer deadline days in history. The deadline is not quite as late in the day as it was then, so Liverpool will have to get a hurry on if it wants to reinforce the squad before the 7 p.m. GMT deadline. Meanwhile, the details surrounding the Jacquet impending move to Liverpool have emerged. A fee of £55 million, $75 million, plus an additional £5 million, $7 million, has been agreed with Rennes for the centre-back's transfer, and he was due on Merseyside on Monday to undergo his medical. Jacquet has agreed a contract that will run until 2031, and his arrival is in keeping with Liverpool's transfer policy of targeting young defenders who can be mainstays in the team for years to come. That was seen with the summer acquisition of Giovanni Leone, who sustained a season-ending knee injury last September. Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahima Konate, and Joe Gomez are nearing a combined 24 years of service, and all three players are facing uncertain long-term futures at the club. Konate is out of contract at the end of the season, while Van Dijk and Gomez are only contracted to the Reds until 2027.
Next Liverpool signing identified after bombshell $60 million Jeremy Jacquet transfer deal. Jermaine Pennant says Liverpool should set their sights on Inter Milan center-back Alessandro Bastoni following Jeremy Jacquet's imminent arrival. The Reds are on the verge of securing the 20-year-old services after pipping Chelsea and Manchester United to his capture. The Rennes sensation had attracted serious attention from the London outfit before Liverpool stepped in and struck a $55 million agreement plus $5 million in add-ons for a summer transfer. Jacquet's summer switch won't address the Reds' current defensive crisis, with Giovanni Leone, Connor Bradley, Joe Gomez, and Jeremy Frimpong all ruled out through injury. Liverpool face a dilemma with Ibrahima Konate poised to leave when his deal expires, unless his contractual situation gets sorted. Additionally, skipper Virgil van Dijk has just over 12 months left on his agreement come summer after signing a 2-year extension last term. Pennant believes Jacquet arrives with an impressive reputation, though whilst there are doubts over his ability to deliver, he views it as a thrilling acquisition. Speaking on behalf of betselect.co.uk, he said, "Initial reaction is good because we need defenders. I know it's not in January that he's signing, but we don't know the situation with Ibrahima Konate, so we are going to be left light. The fact that we've already got one in before the summer window, we're not running and chasing, we're on the front foot, it's good. It's his first season, so there's still going to be a lot of questions. I know there's a lot of people raving about him. There's still going to be a lot of questions. Can he do it in the Premier League? We are still yet to see that, but it's a signing. Everyone likes new signings. I don't think he'll be a starter straight away, especially if Konate is still there. I think this is more for the future. Yes, he'll have a big part to play next season, I'm sure, but to be a regular star, I don't know. But saying that, he could have a fantastic preseason. He could maybe get the nod in the first game of season and then claim that spot. So I think there are still questions to be asked then. We probably will find out what part he's going to play in the squad next season. But I think this signing is potentially, it could be, a starter straight way, or it could to rejuvenate the team with when Giovanni Leone comes back. That could be the kind of future we're going. Liverpool did attempt to bolster their ranks during the closing stages of the January transfer window, but were unsuccessful in their pursuit of Lutscharel Geertruida after his switch from RB Leipzig collapsed due to Sunderland's failure to secure a replacement for the versatile defender. Arne Slot should have Leone available for preseason training before the 2026-27 campaign kicks off.
Pennant feels that 26-year-old Bastoni would be a good option to bring in. He explained, "I also like the sound and I like the looks of Bastoni at Inter Milan. I think he's a player that can play across the back. He can play left back. We've seen him play left back for Inter Milan, and he's also playing there as center back as well, and that's where we're looking at. And if we look at the way Liverpool play, the defenders do have a lot of time on the ball because everyone sits back and does that low block." He continued, "I think if we've got defenders who are good on the ball, brings the ball coming forward, out of possession, good passing range, I think that would help us a lot. Konate kind of struggles when it comes to that kind of area of the technical ability side of things, so Bastoni would probably be a good addition." Liverpool add former PSG coach to academy ranks. Liverpool have a new addition to their academy ranks, landing Bafode Diakhaby after a decade of service at Paris Saint-Germain. Liverpool's academy is undergoing another refresh, with exciting new center backs signed this month and plans for a $20 million redevelopment that is due to complete in 2028. There were big changes over the summer, with new U21 and U18 head coaches appointed, and a new face was added in January from PSG. Bafode Diakhaby, via his LinkedIn, has revealed his appointment as a new youth development phase coach after ending nearly a 10-year association with the French side. The 36-year-old, once a professional in France and Belgium and an academy player at PSG, was head of pre-academy training up until his exit from Paris in December. He had previously been responsible for coaching the U16, U15, and U14 teams, but now will help develop emerging talent at Liverpool, with his years of experience to be tapped into. His arrival comes after reports from L'Équipe that he was on sick leave towards the end of last year, following a difficult season, with his departure described as significant by Le Parisien. It comes amid investigations into alleged irregularities at PSG's academy and reports of employee distress, with L'Équipe reporting in November that the labor inspector found their workload did not meet standards. Diakhaby now has a fresh start at Liverpool and will seek to impart his experience on the existing coaches and setup, as well as the club's young players. Speaking of which, loan deals could still be struck for several players before Monday's 7 p.m. transfer deadline, with winger Trent Cone-Doherty among those attracting interest. Calvin Ramsey and Amara Nalo, however, could be hindered by Liverpool's inability to sign a senior defender for the second half of the season after talks for Lut Sherel Geertruida collapsed.
Liverpool issues statement as player joins Arne Slot's squad on deadline day. Liverpool and Ajax have confirmed that James McConnell's loan move has been cut short at the Amsterdam club. McConnell joined Ajax at the end of August on a season-long loan move, but after making just 7 appearances, the player has returned to Liverpool. Confusingly, the announcement was made only on Monday, despite the midfielder spending most of the month back on Merseyside. Liverpool.com reported last week that McConnell's loan had ended early, with the 21-year-old undergoing minor surgery on an injury that prevented him from playing for Ajax after November. McConnell had originally been persuaded to join the club by John Heitinga, Arne Slot's former assistant at Liverpool, but he was sacked in the same month as the loanee picked up an injury. McConnell will not depart Liverpool on transfer deadline day. It is understood he will play a role with the senior team in the final months of the campaign and provide greater depth for Slot. The academy graduate, who has played 13 senior games for the Reds, is expected back from injury later this month. Confirming his return to Liverpool on Monday, Ajax said in a statement, "Ajax, James McConnell, and Liverpool FC have reached agreement on the formal termination of the player's loan agreement. The administrative handling of this has been completed. The player himself had already not been part of Ajax's selection since early January." Liverpool added that McConnell is now back at the AXA training center with the Reds after the temporary deal with Ajax was ended. McConnell signed a 5-year contract last summer, and there was widespread interest in the championship over a potential loan move. He is expected to play a peripheral role in the first team between now and the end of the season and is highly regarded by Slot. The Dutchman even prevented McConnell from leaving Liverpool last January, following an impressive appearance against PSV Eindhoven in the Champions League. He played in the shock FA Cup elimination at the hands of Plymouth Argyle the following month, his most recent appearance for the club. That early cup exit, coupled with Slot's plethora of midfield options and untimely injury last spring, meant McConnell did not feature in the final months of the campaign and returned to the under-21 setup. Primarily a holding midfielder, the youngster is also capable of operating at right back, a position which has proved troublesome for Slot in recent weeks. Liverpool's move for $29 million star thwarted by club president. Liverpool have left it very late to make any moves in the winter transfer market, but they can wave goodbye to one target for definite. The Reds may have spent big in the summer and brought in a wealth of top players, but their squad still feels a little bit light of options. Injuries have not helped their case, which is why they have been linked with a few players late on in the window, although getting them over the line now will only be more complicated. Most of the rumors have been surrounding their defense, with this in desperate need of reinforcements due to the amount of goals they've shipped this season and their lack of depth in this area. However, even if they were very keen on one player in particular, a club president has ruled any move out completely, so they will have to look elsewhere if they are serious about adding to their ranks in this position. Inter Milan president confirms Denzel Dumfries will not join Liverpool this winter. The right-back position has been a bit of a problem area for the Liverpool this season, not due to a lack of quality, but because of a lack of availability. Jeremy Frimpong, Connor Bradley, and Joe Gomez have all picked up multiple injuries this season, with all three of them being very unreliable in their Liverpool careers so far. This has led to a few names being linked as replacements, with the latest being Inter Milan's Denzel Dumfries after a move for Sunderland loanee Lutcherell Gertruda fell through. But any hope of signing the 29-year-old has fallen flat on its face after Inter's president Giuseppe Marotta insisted that Dumfries will not be going anywhere, with Liverpool even being name-checked by the Italian. Liverpool keen on Dumfries? Some phone calls are to the limit of correctness, done even in a sudden way, which do nothing but destabilize, he told Italian reporters ahead of Inter's game against Cremonense, as per Fabrizio Romano. Absolutely no chance. Dumfries stays with us here at Inter. Dumfries is valued by Football Transfers at $29 million, making him a very affordable option, but given his age, it seems very unlikely that Liverpool will come back in for him in the future. Liverpool would have had to include Curtis Jones in any deal for Denzel Dumfries. If Liverpool were very serious about signing Dumfries, then the only way they would have been able to change Inter's mind is if they included Jones in any sort of deal. The Italians were keen to sign Jones on loan with an obligation to buy at the end of the season, but the Reds swiftly shut down any chance of that happening. The Scouser is seen as an important part of Liverpool's project, although his lack of consistent minutes means it is understandable why he may have been keen on the switch. Inter would have likely demanded that Jones would be included in any deal for Dumfries too, making it an even less attractive proposition for the Reds, suggesting that missing out on the right back might be for the best.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. See you next time.